Welcome to Rave Green Magazine. My name is Rich Michelson, soccer editor at Seattle Side Up. With me today are my two contributors, Abraham DeWeese and Ian Loney. Today we're going to go ahead and talk about all things Sounders. To start things off, I'm throwing it over on to Ian. Tell me about your thoughts about the Sounders this last week.
Well, good and bad. Start off with the bad. They had to go down to Honduras, which is quite the long flight, and they had to go play City Olympia. They did lose 1-0, which puts them in a pretty tough situation for CONCACAF Champions League. But on the good side, they came home and beat Portland, so that's always a good thing.
Now, hey, Abe, you look a little excited about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the fact that we beat Portland, it puts us back into the playoff race. This slide that we've been having for the last 2 months, this is what we need, that kick in the pants to go out there and start waging war on this entire LMS. Mm-hmm. That CONCACAF thing, by the way, I don't understand. Maybe I can throw this question at you two. Why did we play the B squad? Is the CONCACAF just not that important?
I think it's MLS is more important, I think, and they want to make sure. They've had so many injury issues, they wanted to make sure everyone was fresh for the Portland game. That's my take on it. They want to play. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say there are four key contributors that were all out. Mm-hmm. And so out of your 28-man roster, that leaves you with 24. And you had to take 18, which we actually only took 17 down there. So, I mean, we left 9, 10 guys up in Seattle training, basically. I mean, unfortunately, our depth isn't as deep as, say, like the European squads, who can have 45 guys that they have under contract or whatever it is. So that's why, Abe. But
okay.
Abe, you were at the game, right? Correct. You were at the game, right, Abe?
No, I missed today's game, but I did get to watch it on television.
Okay.
Which actually is a good thing, because today's game, you actually wanted to see what was happening. First of all, Evans looked terrible.
Well,
Freiburg didn't look that good either, and Papa was the worst.
Well, I will say this. Evans looked much better once Alonso came into the game late. Mm-hmm. I think the defense, obviously Alonso makes the defense better, but the shape just improved tremendously and all that as soon as he entered the game. But the early in the first half, they were so lucky to be up 2-0. They were getting schooled in the midfield the entire first half and most of the second half. And thankfully Oba changes games all by himself.
Oba does change games by himself. I'll tell you one thing that I saw, fellas. I saw for lack of a better word, a will to win, a will to get something done. They played probably one of their worst games I've seen them play. I mean, I thought they played better against Montreal. I thought they played better against Chicago, against Colorado. I mean, all during this huge slide. Mm-hmm. I thought they played a lot of games a lot better. Mm-hmm. Today, guess what happened, guys? We got a little bit of luck to go break.
Yes, we did.
Shocking.
And we had Stephen Fry, who was the best player on the pitch, bar none.
For either team, yeah.
Yes.
I agree with that luck thing. When the Portland goalie got called for a foul by blocking Obafemi Martins, I don't think that was a foul. I'll take it.
I do, because I think Obo was trying to dribble, not shoot, which makes it obstruction. But at the same time, they were talking about it on TV too. It's like, if it is obstruction, it's a red card, and if it's not obstruction, it's not a foul. So,
pretty much.
Yeah. Now, okay, the goalie did kind of push his shoulder in, but I'm thinking about, if I was there, I couldn't have got out of the way.
It was pretty weak. It was to be honest, it was just. It was us getting a bad call go our way instead of against us. I have not seen a single iffy borderline call break our way the entire time. I haven't seen a lucky bounce our way the whole season. I've watched every single game at least twice, guys. We have not had anything like this. Like we haven't had a game where we've gotten rebound goals or anything like that. Nothing lucky has worked.
Well, heck, do you remember that one play where the striker for the Timbers cut right through Tyrone Mears and Ramon Torres, and Torres and Mears just stared at each other while Fry had to basically defend an empty net to himself?
Yeah, the back line
Sure,
is a
get a
little
goal.
bit of work in progress. Yeah, I mean, Roman Torres obviously has a communication problem. He doesn't speak English fluently. But more to the point, it's the nonverbal communication. I mean, they are used to having Brad Evans back there. They have been used to having Brad Evans back there for most of the season, and now he's been moved up into the midfield in kind of a utility role. So, what that means is it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. But I will agree with Ian when Osvaldo Alonso, the original Honey Badger, came back on the pitch. he was a lot. Seattle all of a sudden could possess the ball instead of like giving up possession for the whole. Basically, it seemed like the whole match to Portland.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got another game coming up on Saturday, again at home. Toronto FC, the Reds, come to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Abe, tell me what you're thinking. How are you feeling about this game?
Not very good. The Toronto's been on a little bit of a win streak. They just took out the Montreal Impact.
Mm-hmm.
They're at 37 points? No, actually they just got 3 more points. So they're up at that 40 level. This is a team that plays solid. It kind of reminds me of RSL. They don't necessarily have, except for Bradley, that many stars. Just everybody meshes and works together.
You obviously haven't been following them this year. You've forgotten about a little itty bitty guy, the atomic midget or the atomic ant or whatnot. His name's Sebastian Javinko. He's leading the. He's going to be the MVP. He's basically leading the league in assists and goals.
Here, I have it right here. Javinko has an adductor injury. Yep. He's not going to be there.
Nope.
But you're right. He is a star.
Italy.
He's a star.
He's a star.
I failed
and Josie
on that one,
Altidore as well.
Yeah, they also have Josie Altidore. I hear that guy's okay.
He's all right.
He's
so
all right.
Actually, those 3 guys make Toronto FC the highest payroll in MLS, and it's not even close. And 2 out of 3 of them are going to miss the match.
5'4", 135 pounds.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Speaking of highest paid MLS players, will Dempsey be back finally for this one, or will he be off on national team duty as well?
I read he wasn't, but Rich, you said that he will?
Yeah, there was some breaking news just a few hours ago that Dempsey will not go to national team duty until after the Toronto FC game. So if he's physically able, he will. Now, what I really hope for just a little bit of payback to head coach Jurgen Klinsmann is I'd like to see Dempsey play for us, play really well, and then get injured so he can't go to national team duty after screwing us over with Camp Klinsmann and playing him in 7 matches in a month.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think?
Okay, I've told you guys what I thought about the national team. I thought it was terrible that we allowed Dempsey and Evans to even be on that national team for the Gold Cup. Well, I take that back. It's not that we allowed. It's actually written in their contracts they can leave if they want. It just bugs me. We gotta win the MLS. We can't be letting players play in inconsequential matches. And I know you're going to argue with me about this one, Rich, but Gold Cup was inconsequential. They shouldn't have been taken from us.
Here's my take, though. The Gold Cup, for its faults, was FIFA sanctioned. MLS needs to honor the FIFA schedule and allow and give buys on FIFA breaks. I don't know if they need to shorten the season a little bit or if they need to but they need to figure it out. They need to figure out a way so that when there's international break weekends, that all these guys on national team duty can actually go play for their national teams and not have it interfere with MLS.
That'd be a great way to go.
So can I bring up the schedule from last year? I actually went back and looked at it. In the month of July, which is the bulk of the World Cup, the Sounders played 3 matches the whole month. So they did miss Dempsey. They did miss their national teamers, but the matches were such that they only really missed their national team people for 2 matches of the season. Whereas this time we missed Dempsey for what I think a good 6 matches, and I'm not counting the games he missed by suspension.
Yeah.
So
and injury and stuff since.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I mean, obviously the people in MLS, I'm sure they've got some smart people that can figure out schedules, and they're working around a whole bunch of factors. But the long and the short of it is, I think we'd all take a few more midweek matches if we didn't have to have huge chunks of the season missing key players, because the depth in MLS just isn't there. after you get out of that top echelon.
And if MLS has aspirations to be a top 10 league, they're going to have to figure this out.
I know we only got a couple of minutes left, but I just wanted to ask, was it me or does Pineda look like he's being relegated to like backup and just,
I think with all the signings, there's nowhere to put him. And honestly, I think he's past his primes. So that's kind of he's kind of taking on a super sub role at this point.
Yeah, I watched the whole match against Olympia, and I'll be honest, he was probably the best sounder on the field. He looked healthy, he looked fit for the first time in months and months and months. Now, whether or not he can take the pounding of week in, week out being a starter in MLS, I don't think that's going to happen. Plus, I think we have enough depth. But the fact of the matter is that Siggy finally has a stable of horses to call on. And so he's going to be that super sub. He might get a spot start here and there. But hey, one other thing to bring up, guys. In August, we played 8 matches. In September and October, we're going to play 8 matches.
Each, yes.
Oh, boy.
No, like not each. Total. In total. That's all we have left. 8 more matches.
Rich, I know you're about to ask us our predictions, so I'm just going to say mine now. I almost think we're going to lose to Toronto. This fatigue is going to be terrible.
I think we're going to be okay against Toronto. I predict a point, but I think that'll be enough for them to set up for a late season push to get hopefully out of the play-in game at least of the playoffs to get the seed.
I have a totally different take here on you. Before we wrap up tonight, I think they're going to blow them off the pitch. Toronto is an inferior team with inferior backs.
Wow.
Michael Bradley is amazing, but Michael Bradley needs people around him. And here's the fact of the matter is I can't name a single other player other than their 3 designated players. And it's not because I have actually watched a fair amount of Toronto FC, but I can't name a single other player. No one's actually made an impact on me. And here's the other thing. They have to come west from the east. They played in the inferior conference. They play an inferior schedule, and they have to travel to the west. They're going to be jet lagged out of their mind and without 2 out of 3 of their best players.
Well, Ian and I are going to the game, so we're happy to hear that.
Yeah, we are very happy to hear that. And it is kind of the same as last year where they had Bradley and Defoe and exactly no one else, but yeah, and they were awful. But
no, they are going to have a real problem handling Valdez, handling Martins, and if Dempsey gets back on the field and Von Schitz gets on the field, I mean, heck, even with just Nagel and Papa up there, they are going to have their work cut out for them. They are mediocre everywhere else. Michael Bradley, Josie Altidore, Sebastian Jovinko make them special. Without those players altogether, just not the same team. Abe, any last thoughts before we wrap up tonight?
No, just I think that Papa played the worst game I've ever seen him play, and he should have got taken out probably at halftime.
Okay, Ian?
I agree. I think the midfield got schooled the entire game. Thank God for Stefan Fry and thank God for Obafemi Martins because, otherwise there's no way we're even close in that game.
Well, fellas, obviously some strong opinions here from you tonight, and to to the people that watch us, read our stuff here at Seattle Side Up. We're very, very thankful, very grateful for you. Follow us at seattleside.com on Twitter. Follow each of us on our individual Twitter handles. Read our stuff at seattlesideup.com. And to all those Sounders fans, thanks for watching Rave Green Magazine. Good night.